Welcome back to Horizon 2 Forbidden West Burning Shores 1.23 and my careful Ultra Hard Let's Play. And today we're going to talk about fire safety, where you should build your campfires and what places you might want to not build them in order to not start a forest fire. So today we are on our way to Alva. I'm going to look for her in the Quen settlement to the west. Hi. Yeah, and on the way there, I think that I might want to talk a little bit more about artificial intelligence. So we have talked a bit about chatbots and the measuring intelligence by using the Turing score as introduced in the Horizon universe, and also a bit about the neural network machine learning as opposed to the earlier symbolic logic, or those two types of artificial intelligence. How much you can do with, or rather, what the machine learning neural network is and how it differs from from the symbolic logic and other types. What I haven't talked about yet is sentience and general artificial intelligence. What would be needed for those systems to be able to reason and to understanding themselves and to be self-conscious, having emotions, all those things. There are a lot of people who think that it's some sort of mystery. I don't regard it as a mystery. It doesn't mean that I'm professional in that specific space, but I have been interested in artificial intelligence for a long time, but I don't regard this as something deeply unattainable mystery or something. But that's also a matter of definitions and what you would mean about it. I also could say I also for a long time have been interested in metaphysics, the philosophy of consciousness, parapsychology, esoterics, and so on. But my view in that regard is also what you could call materialist. So even if you would deposit that or posit that the mind has some immaterial component, even if you would think that humans has a soul or something more than the biological components of the body. It would still be something that had some form of natural law, some form of what you would call it, action reaction, that it follows some form of rule. So I don't think it matters if the consciousness or brain is based on biology or some form of astral or higher plane component. It still would follow processes that can be modeled and can be simulated with computers. But this thing also has a similar problem as I talked about the ecosystems and the biology, is that certain types of processes are of a type that they have a complexity beyond something that you can approximate with just by brute force. So it might be, regardless of if the consciousness and mind would be strictly biological or a combination with biology with some other extra physical components, it would still be that the processes could be an effect of interactions of a type of complexity, but that would be larger than what would be possible to approximate with computers. I don't need to be. Oh, you're Apex. Wow. Well, alright then. But even so, you could still do a lot, even if you wouldn't have that specific type of aspect. I think it would, even with this complication of that there might be some aspects that would take more resources than what you could do with computers. I don't think that it's something that is limiting what you can do. So I think that you can actually produce intelligent machines that would have an general intelligence, meaning that we would be able to survive and solve problems in the world, novel problems that we haven't encountered before or been trained for before. So there's many parts of this, but for starter, one thing that has been people in general have a very strange relationship to is emotions of a human. And as with most of these things, it depends on how you define it. That people want to put more meaning in what emotion means. So I'm going to speak to parts of it, and the part of it is if you got a system of intelligence that has the machine learning neural network part is good in pattern matching. That part has what you would say is associations, that you can look at the pattern and you can associate to things you should do in that situation, uh, categories that associate to, and all the things like looking at the picture, and if it's a picture of let's say a threatening animal, and it's something that you recognize coming from that you have a threatening animal in front of you, you you get a direct association to what you should do in that situation, and depending on what it is you perceive. So the neural network is the association part, and that's part of what you would call intuition, association, and the artistic side of you. The other part is the information and the logic, and heuristics, where you use logic to think about your situation and in the information you have, and that's what you usually had symbolic logic for, mathematics and other such things. So what I'm talking about is the discrete information that symbolic logic represents, and then the pattern matching and association categorizing that the neural network has. And when the things that the feelings are not a specific information, but rather it's the state of the body. So if you're thinking about how feelings works in your brain or in your body, you have specific molecules, hormones, transmitter, neural transmitter substances that represent attention, sleepiness, stress, pleasure. These are specific substances like adrenaline, dopamine, serotonin, cortisol, and so on. All of those has many functions, but they are something that's not present for just one specific neuron or one specific neural pathway. They are there is a amount of it, and that amount covers the whole of the body, or a whole part of a body. For example, if you have an amount of cortisol, that is an amount of stress level, that stress level is not tied to a specific association like in a neural network, or tied to a specific object like in a symbolic analysis of a situation. It's covering the whole system. So the emotions functions to guide or influence the processes and associations and thinking in the whole of a system. So that means that if that means that a thing like a stress level is something that you absolutely can put in a computer, in an artificial intelligence. You can give a computer the feelings of love, the feelings of stress, of sleepiness, of hunger, of sadness. All those things can be implemented similar to how it's implemented in a human. It's just a variable that's where you have an amount of from 0 to some large amount, and the higher something is, it will influence the associations and the decision making. So you can, if you would have a robot or a artificial intelligence that would, for example, have a task to move boxes in a warehouse, and then for example, if there would be a fire in the warehouse, that fire, you could have a logical reasoning, but as an alternative or addition to that, you would have the feeling of stress and a feeling of hotness and so on, related from the fire. That the situation would increase the stress level, and that stress level would mean that how the system would do its work would be influenced about how it's feeling for the moment. It would maybe hurry up, or it would do other things. So our brain works, for example, that the memories are connected to the emotional states. That means that if you are in a similar emotional state, you would have a similar associations, memories. So if you would train a system to do things, it would and you would have emotion as part of that. That emotion would make it do different things depending of its states. So simply, the emotion is something that is present for everything it does in that specific point in time, or for that specific subsystem. Meaning that if you have a hormonal level of some emotion, it could be located in parts of your body or the whole of your body, but it's not focused to just one specific thought or one specific part in a logical reasoning or something. Yeah, so emotions is nothing strange in opposite. It's a super simple thing to do. In a computer program, it can simply be a variable, and then you can have it have a system at how fast the amount of the specific emotion could rise or fall. So you have some simulation of this where you would, for example, differ between modes and what was it? You can have. Oh, I'm often missing these. That's easier. They usually are a group of bandits here. It seems that they have left already. Oh well, I'm on my way over to the Quen territory anyway, so anyway, some emotions or some variables can change faster and some slower. So yeah, you could try to do it similar to. Can I take this? Yes. So you can make it to function similar to a human, but you don't have it be exactly like human. You can a machine can have other types of senses and feelings. So if, for example, if it's a robot, it might have senses of its level of cooling liquid or its battery level and so on. So you don't have, it doesn't have to feel hunger like, but it can absolutely have a emotions that would correspond to how well functioning it is, if it's need in repair, if it's have a level energy level and needs to recharge, all those things you can absolutely, and it would be useful to make the machine feel pain in some sense. Uh, of course, you are differing between the perceptions, the feelings, and the emotions, um, because some of them are related to the social states and to the like your social status or your how well you are doing in the relationship to the person you're working for. So for example, if you're you're also Apex, aren't you?
A lot of acid to bring it down.
Yeah. No, well, Yeah, so for example, if you're programmed to serve a specific human, you can absolutely have emotions that would correspond to its perception of how well is it's able to please, uh, making it making its happiness a mirror of the person it want to serve. So if it detects that uh, the human is sad, uh, it could be programmed to mirror that sadness and for itself feeling sad. And that would be a emotion that would influence its behavior in some way if you would want it to be empathetic. So just because it's a variable doesn't mean that it's not an emotion. Right. They are.
They're looking for me.
I can't see you right now. Here you are. Here you are. Are you? Hope you're not Apex. You also. Where are you? You are Apex. That's not. Oh well. I don't need to. Oh, that was close. Where am I going? So I want to go northeast. This is sort of a way, but not the safest way. Oh, here you are. I tried to. Jeez. Wow, now I'm in. Oh well. No problem. Got my crab, so everything is good. Oh, I was actually hurt. Whoops. Yeah, so what makes it real emotion is how integrated it is in how it's balanced with how it influences the thinking, the decision making, the associations, how it's connected uh, to the action it does. Like for a human, if it's stored in a variable or in a hormone, has less importance than how it's connected to the system as a whole. Oh, you are... Don't look your way. I was trying to... Thank you. You're a bit away. That was a miss.
It's down.
Miss. That might be better. Okay. Right, so that's about emotions. Another question is what's would amount to consciousness and general intelligence. Let's see where we are. Oh, yeah, got turned around. That's the wrong direction. Let's go here. So about the consciousness, or could start with, that's also a term that has a lot of association, and people put so many things into that word that it would be easier to just talk about other things, just to be clear about what we're talking about. In order to function as a general intelligence, you would have to have self-reflection, and that means that just not, it doesn't, it's not enough to just associate and categorize the specific situations. You also have to have your own existence and your own functioning as part of the thing that you perceive, that you can perceive the state of the state of yourself, what your state are in the world. You see your place in the world and in what state you are, and what your situation are, like what's your relationship with the things around you, and you can model the other actors, like you can you have a model of the actors that act upon you, and so you can simulate what we would do in specific situations. So that means that seeing yourself in the situation, seeing the other actors around you, and being able to run simulations based on your perception and understanding of your environment, so that you can have an idea of what the result of your action would be, and how the other actors around you would perceive your actions. And that's sort of a so that's a sort of one important part of being able to function as a general intelligence. Then also something that all human or all thinking humans does is that as I said before, you have the frontal cortex that has the ability to react impulses and like if you're trying to find solutions, so possible solutions for what to do or how to think about things, you would have to test those things. The applications that has been built on GPT-4 and other machine learning networks, where you have the quality control, the testings are done upon those basic functions. So people today have started to implement how they test out the quality of the reasoning, or rather reason by putting in extra steps.
Hey, you're back.
Of associations and checking them against each other.
Ready for guard duty?
So what you would need is to have a way to test the results of your thinking. That if you're trying to pick out the best way to accomplish a goal,
Shoulder doing all right?
you should have to think about the results of those answers in testing them and trying to compare them from different perspectives and so on. So the ability to compare and check the reasoning against the many different aspects and many different you need to check your work, and that's not is the basic part of a neural network, but it's a part that's needed are needed in a general intelligence. So a future version of AGI would need to have that in a more natural way, so that it can criticize itself. Um, then even more important is of course how you would set your own goals and how you would what it is that directs its
Hope you got more of a fight in you today.
how the system directs what it wants to do.
Your shoulder doing all right?
So
Guess Alva's busy somewhere else. What's that note say?
oh, Alva's left a note. Okay, so just to finish up is that
You holding up?
general
No doubt.
artificial general intelligence will consist of many different parts
Having a good day?
uh,
Sure.
that will work together, like in the same way that a brain and the body has many different parts.
Wonder how long these gusts can keep it up.
So so you would have those that would work together, and then you would have something that would test the results and react those that doesn't work, and then you would um, have it think out scenarios and develop plans on how to continue to test those scenarios against reality. But now we are here, so let's read about what
Well
Alva
done, stranger.
had to say.
Well done.
Sorry, I missed you.
You all right?
Aloy, sorry I missed you. Or you missed me. I'm off to score. I'm off to scour more ruins with some of our soldiers. Don't worry. After our escapades getting the Leviathan data, still haven't got over the surprising Sliverfang or almost falling to my death. I think I can handle another excursion in the wilds, unless we run into a Thunderjaw or a Slaughterspine or a Thunderjaw and a Slaughterspine. Yikes. Anyway, the soldiers and sailors who decided to stay at landfall are a good bunch. I've been quietly teaching a few of them how to use a focus. Let me tell you though, it's not easy to convince somebody who spent all their life believing the focus is forbidden relic that it's okay to have one. Their, their help will be invaluable in searching the ruins. San Francisco has a lot of technology. HQ back. San Francisco had a lot of technology HQs back in the day. If there's data out there that can help with Nemesis. Thanks again, Zenith Shitbags. Oops, sorry. We'll find it. See you in a bit. Alva. So that's it. I don't know about anything else that might be here in the Forbidden West. So next up, I'm going to look for our friend, the machine oil drinker. I know that he was traveling to the west. I've seen notes indicating his presence in the no man's land.
Sure.
I have heard rumors that
You holding up?
he probably been in the burning shores, but I haven't found him yet. So I'm going back to burning shores, hoping to find a sign of the machine oil drinker. I forgot his name again. And then I'm hoping for another patch from Guerrilla Games so that I can get the aerial captures and
Yeah.
get all the trophies. So this is all for now.
Finally up and about.
Thank you and see you next
Yeah.
episode.